the heart of the Moses Mabhida Stadium tonight, and he's been having way too much fun this week. Newzroom Afrika anchor Xoli Mngambi standing by. Xoli, you look like you've got your outfit for tomorrow ready. Let's talk about what is expected then to happen in that precinct tomorrow.
Well, Kathy, I think you have captured my feelings very well, because I have absolutely been having so much fun out here since we arrived in KZN, from the time that the Interministerial Committee addressed us a few days ago to give us the state of readiness up until midday today, just before midday, when the Police Minister briefed us on the state of readiness from the security side. And jokingly, as I was listening to him, Kathy, the Police Minister sounded as though he wanted to break into a traditional praise singer, because he started talking about the lineage of all the Zulu kings that have come before King Misuzulu, who is going to be coronated tomorrow. So we joked as journalists that the minister was having a moment, given that he himself comes from this neck of the woods. In fact, Kathy, as I talk to you, you probably are going to have to forgive us, because my next guest is the MEC of Economic Development. He also doubles up as the chairperson of the African National Congress, Siboniso Duma. We have been waiting for him, and he is here, so we're going to allow him time to get mic'd up so you and I can possibly drag out this interview a little while longer while he gets ready. But let me tell you, Kathy, that from where we are, this stadium, it is a 48,000 capacity crowd stadium, and we are going to be bringing you every angle from within the stadium. But let me whet the appetite of the viewers as well. We are going to be with the king from the moment he leaves the location where he will be coming from. We are going to be following his motorcade, and we're going to be following him on the motorbikes. We are going to track every corner that he will be turning. We're then going to obviously usher him into the stadium. There will be cameras that will be waiting in watch to see to it that we have him covered all the way up until he enters the stadium. And I surely will expect that by that moment, the crowd that is going to be here, they will be absolutely in their element in terms of welcoming the new king. This is a moment, Kathy, that's not been seen in more than 50 years. The Premier of the province telling us just a few days ago that this is probably one of those events that we get to witness once in our lifetime, given that it was some 50 years ago that King Xoli Mngambi, the late king, was coronated. A completely different picture, different South Africa. So we're going to be waiting to see the kinds of speeches that are going to be delivered tomorrow as we, the country, the nation of South Africa, including foreign dignitaries, by the way, Kathy, some 2,000 people are going to be witnessing this event. These are 2,000 people that come from all corners of the world. So let me pause there for a moment, Kathy, and allow you to ask the question while I ask Mr. Duma to take his seat, because he's been waiting patiently for me to stop talking. So let me pause for a moment and allow you to have that moment while we try to usher in Mr. Duma. Kathy.
Xoli, of course, part of what you're saying is so important, the magnanimity of this particular event. We saw what happened when the king was at least coronated according to Zulu customs and traditions. This being part of an official government event does mean that there are different stakes and even considerations that are on the table. What is the sense that you're getting in as far as the planning between the royal house and government? Because sometimes we know that when government has to plan and be part of these of events of this nature, they do tend to take over because of the very nature of the security and other elements that need to be put in place.
Kathy, you raise a very important question and quite an interesting one, because I did ask this question of the interministerial committee that is led by Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, and the simple question was, has this been a collaborative effort as we understand it needed to be? And we were told that, yes, indeed, it was a collaborative effort. It's only when we started talking to the members of the royal family who have been part of the organizing committee who said that, look, certain protocols may not have been observed and we are unhappy about one or two things, particularly communication. That's something that we still feel that it is lacking from the side of government. But tell you what, Kathy, let's try and break away from you and I and actually have the person who is a government official in KZN. That's Mr. Siboniso Duma, who is now seated with me. Mr. Duma, thank you very much for making it here. We know that you come from Richards Bay. Thank you for coming through. But how has the planning gone from a political point of view? Have you had a good working relationship? And I ask you that question because the royal family does have leanings towards the IFP, and the government of the day is the African National Congress, led by the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal. How has it been, this relationship that Kathy and I were talking about just moments ago?
Mngambi, sir, greetings to you and your viewers at home. I'm sure you understand, as you've already highlighted, this last took place in 50 years. It was apartheid regime, so the planning was not at the level of being enticed by the state or by government. It was just at the level of local people who love the kingdom of KwaZulu-Natal at that particular time. In fact, you understand that there is no trial and error process. This is the government, 3 spheres of government that has to implement it. And the issue of perfecting some of the things is the matter of, at this time, tangible things are not done this way, then you must change. So I think there is a collaborative effort since the day one, since government or president said this is going to take place, we started. Although clinically you can't have all the things at the right place, but we're able to balance some of the equations. But it is the ruling party where to balance a lot of equations, not only one party that has the lineage of some sort.
Talking about politics, our conversation is going to be varied somewhat. You are the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, but your role tomorrow is also that of master of ceremonies. You're going to have to handle the crowds if and when someone is booed here. You're going to have the former president of the ANC. I understand former President Mbeki is already in the province, if my information is correct. Former President Zuma is a resident here. There has been what you would call a friction, not so beautiful words, particularly directed at the current president of the ANC, in particular by former President Jacob Zuma. How do you plan to smooth out those relations as the program gets underway tomorrow? Does President Ramaphosa, for example, completely avoid President Zuma and they come from different passages?
I'm sure we are all fixated on one thing tomorrow, to envisage and to see this gigantic moment, humongous moment, an historical day. I'm sure we all want to think the process will only be about King Misuzulu, KZN Chairperson, to be at the center and the focal area. I don't think other variables will take a center stage. I don't think any sane person will want to be defocused or focus his or her attention towards something that not is the center stage. So tomorrow is about the coronation of a king, is about the certification of a king, is about a moment where a Zulu throne that has been abdicated by the passing of uMdlokombane being taken over. That is why in Zulu, I think we are at that state. So we hope and pray that sanity will prevail. Colleagues and comrades, there will be camaraderie spirit amongst comrades. There will be collegiality amongst the people who will be around. They don't think they will see an organization per se, but they will be seeing the moment which must be seized at that particular time.
Well, there is a particular person who probably is going to find it somewhat difficult to handle this crowd, if indeed it does come to that point where he is jeered or booed, and that's King Mswati III, the uncle to the king. There already has been a statement from your alliance partners, the SACP, who are saying, look, we're not happy with how he is running his country. He's going to be received as a head of state, but we understand he's going to speak as the uncle. That moment, what would your message be to the people who will be attending tomorrow?
SACP is the vanguard of the working class. They've already elaborated that they are not going to do anything that is going to defocus the moment. I've already highlighted, they've issued a statement that as much as there are some gripe, as much as there are some contradictions, they wouldn't want to be remembered for being part of what was supposed to be big, and the focus area goes towards them. So that is why I'm saying that I wouldn't even juxtapose the moment that something of that nature will take effect. But fortunately, we'll be at the center stage as well, controlling the processes. I think the moment these days, I think people are scintillated. There is a jubilation of some sort, and it is tangible. I'm sure when you land in KwaZulu-Natal, you might have seen even our videos welcoming, warmly welcome all the patrons who will be in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Yes.
So I think the mindset is shifted towards that direction.
You talk about the patrons. That then helps us to almost transition into your position now as MEC of Economic Development. Have you taken full advantage of the tourism element that comes with this coronation? Have you calculated perhaps how much money the province is likely to make just from this event alone?
At the level of hospitality industry, I could just tell you that the hotels are full to the level of Scottburgh area, to the level of Maritzburg. So I think we are happy at that particular time or at that level. We have not quantified the quantum value because the value proposition is critical for the department, but what is critical for us is the issue of security level, is the issue of ensuring that all the participants will be warmly welcome. The environment at eThekwini must be to such a level that you must remember the date, but come back, spend your holiday. So the beach that is in front of you, the equal eye level. So those are the issues that we must make sure. I think from the airport, if you're driving towards M4, you see there are even flowers that are welcoming you in this province. So I think it will be at that level. We are happy at this point in time that things are okay.
I never shy away from controversy. You will know this.
Yes.
Let me ask you about the flowers that are going to be welcoming the guests as they touch down. There's been lots of activity. Roads are being painted anew. Some of the roads are being reduced into one lane because they are cutting trees, they're trimming them nicely. Why does it have to take an event for that to happen, for the people of this province to feel that they are respected by the government of the day, that they must enjoy this beautiful city that will be presented tomorrow on any other day?
The answer is twofold. I'm sure you're aware that whenever there's going to be a big event, go to even developed countries like England. If there's going to be a new king, they will be doing some additional things that are not usually done. So it had to take place as well in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, particularly at eThekwini. But on the same bread is that there are processes within the spectrum of government. You can't just fix the road through a maintenance program without appropriation of the budget. So that is why it becomes easy if there is an event, because there is a major milestone that is known, the specialized committees that is able to deal with that. But we hope to improve from then onwards. In fact, in some instances, you'll find that there was no corridor, there was no road before someone big had to pass on earth. Then something got to be done. It's something that is painful, but it's a matter of us balancing those equations, because you'll be asking whether we're supposed to leave things as they are. The answer will be a big no. Just maintain the momentum from here. Don't go back. Maintain the processes of flowering at eThekwini. Maintain the road processes. Maintain the information, communication that so and so at this point in time, we will be working this process. You might be disturbed as the citizen of eThekwini. So I think we ought to improve at that level.
Thank you very much for the time that you have afforded us, but we're hoping for yet more conversations like this tomorrow. Kathy, I could get carried away. I have lots of questions for people like Mr. Siboniso Duma, but I have eaten into your time. Thank you very much for accommodating us on your show, Kathy. But tomorrow, let me make it clear, our broadcast starts at 6 o'clock sharp, and you really do not want to watch this event on any other channel.